called Only We Who Guard the Mystery Shall Be Unhappy. It's a short play, 2 scenes. And what's wonderful about tonight's performance, number one, that we have a magical cast. And number 2, that we asked Tony to make some adjustment in the text to accommodate the cast that we had. And he was kind enough to do it. So what you will hear tonight, you will be the only people in the world who will ever hear it.
Only we who guard the mystery shall be unhappy, by Tony Cushman.
Melting felt to her, paradoxically, like the turning of an instant into solid ice. And then in the next instant, like drowning in a wild ocean surf, jumbled inside out, really fast, and then she was dead. Her family had been celebrating Eid. Children who die, especially terrible deaths, are given especially nice pajamas. Please continue your explanation. Mrs. Bush is explaining why you are dead. And in addition to being married to the President of the United States, please listen to her.
Because without sanctions, there'd be no stopping him. And perhaps there'll be a war, and many, many more Iraqi children will die. Oh, honey, no one wants that. No one wanted you dead. Oh, God, no. What sort of animal would want that? No, it's a terrible sin. And I'm sure we'll all have to pay for it. Me and Bushy, and I call him Bushy, my husband. I'm not supposed to do that in public. I promised I wouldn't. When made that joke the other day that I wasn't out on the campaign trail for midterm elections because I had to stay in Crockett's with the porch after it rained. And you know, it took like a very, very neat house. And yes, I do sweep the porch. But he makes me sound sometimes like a frump. And anyway, well, Bushy is a funny name, isn't it? Funny for a president. President Bushy. Well, anyway, without sanctions and war, Saddam will go on until he has the power to do something unspeakable to another country, to the U.S. or well, any other country. It could be anywhere. He gassed the Kurds, so he must be stopped. And you were caught in that crossfire. And, well, there's just no word for what it is. And we'll pay for your debts, one way or another. He just hates it when I say that. My husband. It's not in his nature to think that way. But I believe it's sweet. I do. I think there is guilt when a child dies, even if the death wasn't a just cause. And one person's guilt is guilt for everyone. See, that's in this book I brought to you. And we suffer that guilt. Me and Bushy and Poppy and Barr and the UN Security Council and you suffered your death. All sorts of Iraqi people die for the sins of your leader, for his evil. And you know, some people say, serves him right, but that's just vengeful and indiscriminate. And those people are wrong. They're wrong as all. How many children have died in Iraq? What with the sanctions and the bombing and all?
The bombings, of course, have never stopped. They have been continuous since the Gulf War ended. It never ended.
How many children do you know?
Hundreds of children. Thousands of children. 150,000 children. 400,000 children? Who's counting? No one's counting. What is the book you're going to read to them?
Oh, well, it's my favorite passage from my favorite book, children. Now, the book is a Russian novel of the 19th century, and it's called The Brothers Karamazov. And the section I love most, the most wonderful book, is called The Grand Inquisitor. It's a little strong for a live show, so I usually read the very hungry caterpillar, but I figured being dead felt kind of a review. I think I like it. I think you will.
Who is the author?
Well, a reactionary Christian mystic, epileptic, compulsive gambler, anti-Semitic Russian nationalist, genius, named Fyodor Mikhailovich Dostoevsky. Some people say he was the greatest novelist ever, and I agree with those people. He in love with them. I think he and I would have had a real understanding. He wasn't so nice, apparently, but he would have gotten me, I think, you know. But I go through daily in my heart. Fyodor Nikolaevich Dostoevsky was, I think, sometimes I think, the only man who could really understand me. And many, many women feel this way. At least in Texas we do. They broke a sword over his head, Dostoevsky, and then they tied him to a post, and over they were going to shoot him for treason, but they didn't. It was a sick joke. Can you imagine? They were going to shoot him for treason. How ghastly it was just knowing you were going to die, and then you open your eyes and you're still alive. Still alive, how horrible. You're still alive. If my husband had been in charge back then, Dostoevsky would have been dead for sure. My husband, he executed everyone they told him to. Everyone they let him. I should say, my God, 100-something people. And he never even missed his early bedtime. Nor, for that matter, what I could see as I sat up reading and rereading Dostoevsky. Ever even stirred in his sleep. Coached me underground, possessed, idiot, and you all like him. He was tired. He's tired a lot. From the gym.
Mrs. Bush?
Anyway, in this section of the Brothers Karamazov, an atheist intellectual, Ivan, is telling his sweet, handsome young brother, Alyosha, about a poem he's made up about Christ our Lord. Well, not your Lord, you're probably Muslims. There, that's nice. There's nothing wrong with that. This is a Christian story. Is that okay?
Children?
Children stand and respond. Bird music.
I'll take that for a yes. It's a universal tale. I bet it's been translated to Arabic and to whatever it is you're speaking now, bird music.